And now let us shift our focus to West Africa, where it looks like new allegations on Nigeria's president have emerged. Reports suggest that the Central Intelligence Agency, or the CIA, has confirmed that Nigeria's president, Bola Tinubu, is regarded as an active asset by the U.S. intelligence agencies. Now, the disclosure surfaced in a joint filing by the CIA, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the Drug Enforcement Administration. The agencies were opposing the release of the unredacted or the non-hidden information about President Tinubu's background. Now, according to the Nigerian journalist David Hundeyin, who has spearheaded the efforts for full transparency, the American agency submitted a memorandum citing Tinubu's status as a CIA asset. The CIA's memorandum underscored the importance of safeguarding its intelligence partnerships. It stated that human sources can be expected to furnish information to the CIA, and only when they are confident the CIA will do everything in its power to prevent the public disclosure of their cooperation. Now, this has sparked a huge debate about whether President Tinubu is a CIA agent or not. Now, 72-year-old Bola Tinubu has been serving as the president of Nigeria since 2023. President Tinubu is criticized as the flying president for the frequent visits that he takes outside of his country. He had forfeited about $460,000 to the city of Illinois in the United States in 1993 after an investigation linked him to drug trafficking activities. But in April of 2023, Tinubu's party, the All Progressives Congress, told the Presidential Election Tribunal that he was of no interest to the U.S. government, as the 31-year-old civil forfeiture case was not against him, but against the money that they said was found in 10 bank accounts that were opened in his name. Now, this came as Tinubu's candidacy was challenged by other presidential election contenders. And now the party's claim prompted Nigerian journalist David Hundeyin and the US-based legal data website Plainsight's owner Aaron Greenspan to file a Freedom of Information Act request to the FBI, the CIA, and the DEA to seek more information on the US government's interest on Bola Tinubu. Now, the DEA has also supported the CIA's position, asserting that while citizens have the right to transparency about what their government was up to, they are not entitled to unrestricted access about President Tinubu. The report confirmation triggered a mixed set of reactions on social media, with David Hundeyin claiming that the U.S. intelligence support for certain African leaders has contributed to regional instability. Now, some users on social media platform X were quick to comment on how did one jump to the conclusion that Tinubu was an asset, while others criticized the U.S. for installing a criminal as their country's president. And some even went a step further and called this as an act of treason. In response to the accusations on President Tinubu, his special assistant on social media took to X and dismissed the claims surrounding the president's alleged CIA ties. He called them baseless and tragic. But the stance of U.S. intelligence agencies of not releasing information about President Tinubu, as well as the government and president's silence on it, has raised more questions than before.
Now, oh dear. For those who are seeking evidence and those who are dismissing evidence, particularly the supporters of Tinubu, I have a question for you. Okay. I have a question. The question is a very simple one, in the sense that, can we not read the handwriting on the wall? Can we not see the handwriting on the wall? The elite group of people in the US-led West have perfected this craft. It is time for us to use our common sense. All these call for evidence. It's a waste of time. It's a distraction. Even with all the overwhelming evidence that we have in front of us, they are still disputing it. So I will say this, like John Perkins said, the writer of the book, The Confessions of an Economic Hitman. He actually outlined all of these as problems bedeviling sub-Saharan Africa. And the beautiful thing about his book is that in addition to the problem that he identified and linked directly to the IMF and the World Bank and the CIA, the problems have a solution, and the solution is well um, elaborated in his book. But at the core of that solution is the organization of the people. The way it is now, the extent to which the Nigerian state has been captured, only the people organizing, only the people coming together can save the country. And that is why I am not happy when I see what is going on now, particularly with respect to very dark man fighting the Femi Falanos and vice versa. When I see Aisha Yesufu fighting Sheon Kuti, or when I see Obedience attacking people like Kenneth Okonkwo, I am not happy. When I see people like Omoyele Sowore attacking people like Peter Obi, I am not happy. Many people are very quick to pick sides and begin to trade words. No. I said it before, I will say it again. When we have this division amongst us, there's no way a Falana will lose to a very dark man. And there's no way a very dark man will lose to a Falana. If we pursue the law case or the court case, it may appear as though there's a winner, but effectively, there is no winner between very dark man and Falana. Yes, it might be difficult to prove defamation because the ingredients that needs to be proved, the revenue that Falana has lost, the harm that has come to him, all of those things they will need to prove. And you will say on the basis of that, very dark man may win. But even at that, neither of them wins. And the real losers are the people of Nigeria who have been divided so effectively amongst themselves. And the real winner will be Tinubu. Many people do not understand the sudden surge of intertribal rivalries. Yorubas versus Igbos, Igbos versus Ikweres, Ikweres versus Ijaw, Benin versus Igbo, Igbo versus Hausa, Hausa versus Fulani, and all that. This increased surge in intertribal rivalry, I know it gets a lot of traffic, and that's what really gets me worried. Yes, and there can be no winners. You cannot argue. You can't possibly have an Edo versus Igbo argument online on any platform and think that you can have any winner. You can't. People may dig into their positions. You can have platforms that are biased towards Igbo, kick out and harass out of their platform anybody that is not in support of Igbo. You can have platforms that are biased towards those. They will kick out anybody that is not in support of the. So, but at the end of the day, you can never have a definitive victory that you can come out and say, okay, the online battle that has ensued between the Edos and the Igbos, for instance, that the Igbos won or that the Edos won. You can never have that definitive victory. So you see, there are no winners, there are no losers when we fight ourselves. The real winner is Tinubu. The real losers are the Nigerians that we say we are fighting for. And that is why when I hear things like this, imagine this campaign of vilification, because it's just one of several types of campaigns that you have, particularly when politics of identity is predominant or dominant. So you have campaign of vilification where you expose the weaknesses or the mistakes of a particular candidate so that people will see and not follow them. That's campaign or politics of vilification. You have the campaign of calumny. You are deliberately taking what is not true and twisting it in favor to make a particular person look bad. You have smear campaign where you look for the person's mistakes, you dig up debts on the person. That's smear campaign. And then you have the campaign of defamation. You know that what you're saying is false, but you say it anyway just so that a particular person can be defamed. But then you have politics or campaign of issues or issues-based campaign. Right now, I think that would not even help. What will help is solution-based campaign. That is what helped even somebody like Donald Trump in America. Solution-based campaign. Campaign of calumny, campaign of vilification, smear campaign, campaign of defamation. All those will not work against Tinubu. We sometimes pride ourselves in thinking that we are holding Tinubu to account when we engage in our campaign of vilification, which is good. I don't think I am asking you to stop it. But engaging in campaign of vilification alone or campaign of calumny or smear campaign without a campaign of solution, in fact, engaging in a campaign of vilification against Tinubu without engaging in a 10 times stronger campaign of solution is a waste of time. It is actually just simply working for Tinubu. And that is what all of us are doing. When we're not doing the campaign of vilification in the name of holding Tinubu accountable, we are fighting amongst ourselves. So, on the one hand, a campaign of vilification or the vilification of Tinubu in the name of holding him accountable is not working. It didn't work in 2023. It won't work in 2027. On one hand, that is not working. On the other hand, we're supposed to unite behind a solution that we can sell to the Nigerian people, that will rally them around us. Look at what happened in Ondo elections. Again, rigging based on voter apathy. At the heart, at the root of election rigging in Nigeria is voter apathy. The more we are unable to bring voters out to participate in this electoral process, the more we are unable to do that, the easier these politicians will find it to rig. And it pains me because it appears as though even the politicians, they have not learned anything. I would have expected that the opposition parties in a state like Ondo will put their heads together, really come together for a united front. But they didn't do that. You would expect that even a powerful single political party, opposition party like PDP in Ondo State will get its act right and understand that the whole hog of election is engaged. They didn't do that. I didn't see any voter education at the polling unit level, at the ward level, at the local government level, and then at the state level. We didn't see any of that. We didn't see any properly set up situation room. We didn't see any network of polling unit agents and, with properly trained modus operandi. We didn't see any of those. And when you would think that with what has happened in Edo and in other places, these politicians will take it seriously, but they are not. Yes, INEC will rig. But my point is this: we cannot continue to put the blame on INEC. I'm not saying we have a blame. What I'm saying is this: we cannot continue. We know that INEC will rig, and then we continue to do nothing, and then elections will come and go, and then we just blame INEC and say, oh, things are not working. No. And checkmate INEC. We can checkmate security operatives or security agencies. We can checkmate thugs. We can checkmate even the judiciaries. We can checkmate them. And that's what I'm calling for. An organization, a coming together of the people to unite behind a single idea, behind a single platform, a single idea in or by way of the Food and Social Welfare Law, Anti-Corruption Amnesty Law, Education Tourism Prohibition Law, Medical Tourism Prohibition Law, Small Business Support Law. Those kind of ideas. These are ideas that will unite us. And the way they are structured to be implemented, it is in such a way that they will be immune to corruption. And then you have platforms like the Abundance Party of Nigeria that will open up the field and show political parties in Nigeria the way political parties are supposed to be run. This is the way we move forward. Campaign of vilification alone, it won't work. I am not just interested in talking for the sake of talking. I am interested in solutions. Solutions. Another thing that will not work? Palliative justice. Look at all the attention that Very Dark Man brought to the Bobrisky issue, that he was not in prison, that he bribed EFCC to get his money laundering case, all of those things, all of those allegations. One would have thought that with the attention that generated, that all these occurrences would have stopped in the EFCC and in the Nigerian Correctional Services. But have they stopped? I was shocked to be in court last week and witness in real time what happened with Bobrisky is still happening today. So what does that tell you? Whatever justice that Very Dark Man got was palliative justice. And the way Very Dark Man is doing his palliative justice is the way Brekete family, Ordinary Ahmedisa, is doing his palliative justice. Now, for the people who are able to get justice through these people, they'll be excited, and it makes for very good and very entertaining viewing or viewership, but it's still palliative. It's still palliative justice. What we need is to solve the problem from the roots. Palliative justice can continue, but we must be able to come up with a system where justice is guaranteed for even the very poor. Because right now, Justice is very expensive. Oh, justice is more expensive than food. It's more expensive than shelter. It's more expensive than clothing. That is why people are not interested in pursuing justice, because they simply cannot afford it. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons that injustice continue. The lawyers, their source of livelihood is injustice. So it's like somebody who sells coffin. It doesn't matter how born again that person is, he will always want people to die so he can sell his coffin. So if there's no injustice, lawyers won't feed. During elections, the lawyers are the ones that are praying. In fact, election season is Christmas season for lawyers because they have to eat. Justice is expensive. I've seen it firsthand. So people cannot access justice because it's expensive. And because people like Very Dark Man and the likes are only human, they can only attend to so much or so much cases. It's only palliative justice they can provide. So in order to solve the problem of Nigeria, we need to take it from the roots. And we must do it systematically. The approaches of the 18th and 19th century will not work in the 21st century. Violent protest cannot work. It cannot work. What will work is scientific mental revolution, scientific protests, new 21st century style, decentralized blockchain approach, so you don't know who to take out. That's what we need now. And the only platform that provides it is the Abundance Party of Nigeria. I welcome you to join. I welcome you to join. I welcome you to join so that we don't have a repetition of this kind of cases that Tinubu is involved in. And then we have evidence that people are supposed to queue behind, but because of identity politics, because of the failure of the campaign of vilification, which never works. It didn't work against Tinubu in 2023. It didn't work against Donald Trump in 2024. This is the 21st century. Campaign of vilification, smear campaign, they don't work anymore. We need to layer many other things on top of it. And that's what I'm advocating for. Join us in this.